but you don't even have the sense to even look in our face. But you rather just steal our money and do what you want to do.
South suburban politician Tiffany Henyard appears to have lost control.
All right, folks, get ready because we're about to unpack one of the wildest political sagas you've probably never heard of. Tiffany Henyard, the so-called super mayor of Dolton, Illinois. She may not have the name recognition of big city mayors, but trust me, her story could easily fuel an entire season of a reality show. Think Parks and Recreation but with real-life drama. So who is Tiffany Henyard? And why is she making headlines for all the wrong reasons? Let's dive in.
Well, for the first time in many weeks, Dolton trustees and Mayor Tiffany Henyard held a public meeting to...
Let's set the scene. Tiffany Henyard was elected mayor of Dolton back in 2021, and at first, it seemed like a win for the people. Young, dynamic, and full of promises to revitalize a struggling town, she was seen as a fresh start. But fast forward a couple of years, and her tenure has turned into a train wreck of scandals. From allegations of lavish spending of taxpayer money to claims of using the police as her personal enforcers, Henyard's leadership has been anything but smooth. And as if that weren't enough, she's now facing eviction, despite earning over 300,000 currency units annually. Yes, you read that right. Apparently, paying rent isn't high on her priority list. But before we dig into the messy details of her eviction drama, let's rewind and look at how Henyard's time in office began. Her reign kicked off with a literal bang, an inauguration party that reportedly cost 15,000 currency units. While she initially claimed her campaign funds covered the event, it was later revealed that taxpayers were left holding the bag. A small red flag, perhaps, but it was only the beginning. Henyard quickly gained a reputation for extravagant spending, often at the expense of Dolton residents. First-class flights, luxury hotel stays, and a jaw-dropping spree of online shopping were just the tip of the iceberg. One particularly outrageous expense: a staggering 43,000 currency units spent on Amazon in a single day. While Henyard maintains that all of these purchases were for the benefit of Dolton, you have to wonder, what kind of municipal emergency calls for that much online shopping?
Tonight was a special board meeting because business has not gotten done at 2 previous meetings, so that's some progress there. But this meeting was not without its fair share of time.
Then there's Tiffany Henyard's obsession with self-promotion. Her face is plastered on billboards all over town, branding herself as the super mayor. Residents, however, say it feels more like something out of Venezuela under Nicolás Maduro, with her larger-than-life image looming over every corner of Dolton. One local even likened her to a dictator, saying, "Isn't this what they're doing in Venezuela with Maduro? His face is everywhere, like a dictator." But it's not just the billboards and Instagram-worthy photo ops that have residents outraged. Henyard has also faced accusations of treating the local police force like her personal security team. Reports allege that officers have been assigned to escort her to social events, pick up her daughter from school, and even serve as bodyguards at private parties. Not exactly what most people envision when they think of community policing. To make matters worse, taxpayers are on the hook for all this extra security. The overtime costs alone are estimated to have drained the village of more than 1 million currency units, money many believe could have been better spent addressing Dolton's actual needs.
Henyard's landlord showed up here to see her tenant in person after she says Henyard has been dodging both her and rent payments for months.
While the village of Dolton drowns in debt, about 5 million currency units in the red, to be exact, Tiffany Henyard seems to be living it up like a rock star. And here's where the plot thickens, because what's a scandal-ridden mayor without a little personal drama? Enter the eviction saga. Despite Henyard and her boyfriend, Camel Woods, raking in a combined income of over 300,000 currency units a year, it seems they decided paying rent is optional. According to their landlord, Janet Bell, the couple hasn't paid rent since August, leaving her more than 5,000 currency units in the hole with unpaid rent and late fees. Bell says she's tried everything to get her money, even showing up at a township meeting to serve Henyard with eviction papers in person. But so far, she's had no luck. Henyard and Woods have reportedly been dodging process servers like they're starring in some sort of political action thriller.
The Dalton home that she leased to Mayor Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has not paid her rent, and now...
And here's where things take an even stranger turn. Landlord Janet Bell claims that not only did the couple stop paying rent, but they also changed the locks on the house, preventing her from accessing the property to perform maintenance. I gave them 48 hours notice and texted them, Bell explained. There's a code on the garage and a new lock on the front door. Can you imagine? Your tenants owe you thousands in back rent, and then they have the audacity to change the locks on your property. What in the world is going on here? You'd think that with all this public scrutiny, Henyard might try to lay low and avoid further controversy. Nope. Instead, she took to Facebook Live for an almost 90-minute rant, claiming she's the victim of a massive conspiracy. In her fiery social media tirade, Henyard announced plans to seek arrest for her political opponents, though she didn't specify what crimes they're supposedly guilty of. I will be seeking arrest for individuals involved, she declared. I will be pressing charges. It's a lot, and that's just me telling you a little bit. All this pointing the finger at Tiffany or lying on me, I'm over it. Now it's time for me to speak. As I say, truth speaks. The drama, it seems, isn't slowing down anytime soon.
It's a power grab. That's it. Power and money grab.
Here's the kicker. This isn't the first time Tiffany Henyard has promised to expose her enemies and spill the tea. Earlier this year, she even launched a podcast specifically to tell her side of the story. But after just a few episodes, the podcast fizzled out. While she's been teasing some kind of bombshell evidence for months, nothing has surfaced so far. Instead, it seems like she's just digging herself into a deeper hole, one Facebook rant at a time. Speaking of digging holes, let's talk about Henyard's latest blunder, the appointment of a new police chief. After firing the previous chief, Robert Collins, Henyard decided to bring in Ronald Burge Sr., a former police chief from Dixmoor who ran against her in the 2021 mayoral race. Sounds like a bold move, right? Well, not exactly. It turns out Burge hasn't worked in law enforcement for years. Worse, he's technically not even qualified to carry a gun at the moment because he hasn't completed the necessary training. The Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board sent Henyard a letter making it clear. Burge is inactive and not authorized to perform law enforcement duties or carry a firearm in public. Another day, another misstep in the saga of Dalton's super mayor. In true 6, but that didn't stop Henyard from trying to install Burge as the top cop Yulin anyway. The village trustees immediately pushed back, saying that Henyard can't make appointments without their consent, and they even got a restraining order to block Burge from taking the job. But Henyard, being the super mayor that she has, decided to ignore all that and go ahead with the appointment. And in a twist that could only happen in Dalton, a judge ruled that Burge can serve as interim police chief for 30 days, despite the fact that he's not currently qualified to do the job. You really can't make this stuff up. So what's next for Mayor Henyard? Well, she seems determined to hold on to power no matter how many scandals pile up. She's already announced that she's running for re-election, and she's confident that she'll win by a landslide. They know the truth, and I am committed and determined to continue fighting for my village for the next 4 years, she said through her lawyer. But not everyone is so sure. Trustee Jason House, who is running against her, says the community does not want to continue under her leadership. And given the mountain of controversy he's facing, it's hard to see how Henyard will be able to pull off another victory.
I will be seeking arrests for individuals involved. I will be pressing charges.
Let's take a moment to dive into some of the public reactions to this unfolding drama, because, trust us, people have asterisk opinions. One commenter summed up the growing frustration, asking, asterisk, how many more months does this continue? Does no one face consequences anymore? Asterisk, and honestly, that's the question on everyone's mind. Between the eviction scandal, the police chief fiasco, and an ongoing FBI investigation, you'd think something would have stuck by now. Another viewer highlighted the irony of Henyard's housing situation, writing, "Why doesn't she own a house? She owns a rental property that's condemned and overcharged Section 8 while the renter stayed in a hotel, but she still got the rent. Then she rents a house instead of buying one. There isn't a single sound decision she's made." They're not wrong. For someone earning over 300,000 currency units annually, it's baffling that Henyard doesn't own her home. Instead, she's at the center of an eviction battle that's making headlines for all the wrong reasons, and adding yet another layer of chaos to her already controversial tenure.
Is the only community that in order to get a business license or a liquor license, you need an attorney.
So where do we go from here? Will Tiffany Henyard finally face the consequences of her actions? Or will she somehow manage to hold on to power for another term? And what about the people of Dolton? How much more chaos can they endure? At this point, it feels like the town is on the brink of a full-blown crisis, and Henyard's leadership, or lack thereof, is only adding fuel to the fire. One thing is clear: this isn't the last we'll hear of Tiffany Henyard. Whether she's dodging eviction notices, appointing unqualified police chiefs, or ranting on Facebook Live, she seems determined to keep fighting, even if it's a losing battle. While her critics are eager to see the end of her political career, Henyard appears to have other plans. As one resident put it, "Whatever happens, she's not going out without a fight. That's one thing I can say. She's a true fighter." For better or worse, it looks like Henyard isn't backing down anytime soon.
The sheriff's been out here a few times to serve them. For a household that makes, over $350,000.
At the end of the day, you've got to wonder, how much longer can this go on? How many more taxpayer-funded parties, late-night rants, and questionable appointments will the people of Dolton tolerate before they say, enough is enough? And with the FBI reportedly investigating, could Henyard's time in office finally be running out? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the drama in Dolton is far from over.
I'm just here because I'm at wit's end and I fear that I'm going to go into foreclosure soon.
What do you think? Will Tiffany Henyard weather this storm, or is she finally about to face the music? And seriously, shouldn't someone making over 300,000 currency units a year be able to pay their rent on time? Share your thoughts in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on this wild story. Stay tuned. Something tells us there are plenty more twists and turns ahead in this saga.
Township tonight as another board meeting got canceled because of a lack of a quorum.
That came after a disagreement about where to hold the meeting as trustees expressed concerns for their safety.